Hey, welcome to Raising Vibrations. You're with Simon today. And wow, I'm really excited to be able to share something with you regarding an experience that happened to me today that I felt deeply moved by. And I thought that this would be a great opportunity to take something that we all as human beings struggle with within our lives and bring it to the surface and maybe validate or acknowledge it so that our lives going forward can have more strength and empowerment, and especially through the heart. And as you can see from the thumbnail itself, it's called We Are Heroes. So I was listening to a conversation today with my partner, and she was talking about a book that she was reading to her son. And this child was sitting in so I'm in the book now. This child was sitting in the classroom and talking to the teacher, and the teacher was speaking about World War II and some of the situations and circumstances that had taken place there. And the scenario was that the teacher and the kids' engagement was, the child was going, "You're talking about these heroes. What about the people that were just going on with their day, that were trying to deal with the circumstances around them? Aren't they not heroes as well?" And the teacher was getting really, really agitated at the fact that the child was being curious about why we identify heroes as these saviors that come through to us and do these heroic things, but yet the people that are maybe not directly involved in the experience are just seen as ordinary. And I think that the essence of what I'm really trying to say here in terms of this conversation is that it's true. Let's take away the awareness around the story, and let's kind of superimpose it onto our lives that we live today. The psychology that we embody is that when we see somebody that is in a movie, for instance, when we see somebody that climbs Mount Everest or does something in what we would consider to be something heroic, we idolize people like that, and we look to them and we see that there is something within them that we lack within ourselves. And the irony of the situation is that why do we do that? Why do we look at ourselves and observe people that have achieved certain things and then identify some special destiny or project some special destiny into their existence, and then put ourselves down and downplay our own capacity to achieve things in our own great way? And why do we never ever actually acknowledge that we are heroes too? Why do we never look at ourselves and say, just because I'm not doing something magnificent like climbing a mountain, it doesn't mean my day-to-day activities regarding trying to keep my children alive in a world that is consistently just keep on bombarding us with poisons is not a heroic effort in itself? What about the souls that are trying to accomplish a certain thing in their lives, and it might take a year for that sort of direction or idea of success or whatever it might mean to you to be accomplished, and you have to kind of keep on every single day being very disciplined and trudging through and doing the earth trine type of work where you're validating yourself and realizing the growth that you're trying to achieve? Why don't we validate ourselves as being heroes too? So I think this is really important. I also noticed that when I was in the store today, we have a society, most of us in the Western world, we have a society where we get an incredible amount of futility put onto us, okay, through the circumstances, the situations, the way that life is, etc. A lot of that, these difficulties that we have to grow through, can almost feel incredibly difficult when we superimpose a lot of the mundane, unnecessary nonsense that has been given to us by our own darkness. In other words, an example that I could maybe give that highlights this is that in your day-to-day activities, maybe you're sick, okay? Maybe you haven't been looking after yourself well enough and you're a little bit ill, and your finances is going to be affected by this because you have to ring in sick and say, look, I need to look after myself. I can't come into work. Now, most people, or I would say a percentage of people, have the luxury of being able to do that without feeling this deep inner guilt or this okay, like I'm going to phone in. How many of you guys at some point in your life have had to contact the people that employed you and say, I'm sick, especially in the UK. I remember those stories. They were really, really incredible, to be honest, like having to call in and say, I'm sick, my welfare is under attack, and yet I have to feel guilty in some way, shape or form for not being able to facilitate whatever the objectives are of these corporations and companies that we have to work for to sustain ourselves, right? The money aspect. And what happens when you're sick and you have to choose your own health? Whereas in a normal sort of situation, it's obvious that your health is far more important than another sort of entity's agenda from a left brain perspective. And yet you have to battle with yourself and have these kind of emotional realities that you have to deal with. And I feel that it is incredibly difficult for us to recognize that we go through an incredible amount of stuff every single day of our lives, and we process and we try and do these things and that thing, and we're just trying to be better or perfect, etc. And yet at the same time, we never actually give ourselves enough compassion to just see that we are also heroes. Even if it's the minutest thing that you have to do in your day that is a great accomplishment, give yourself a pat on the back and say, I accomplished this, and this means the world to me, and this is my Mount Everest. So that's my message for you today regarding this. I really hope that that's inspirational. It definitely moved me in a very deep way, and I felt that that was something that I needed to share with you. So yeah. All right, guys, fantastic. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you with another video. Take care. Bye-bye.